Hey, welcome to another episode of Now That's Gaming, Check It Out. I'm Patrick.
I'm Joshua.
And today we're reluctantly checking out Mad Max.
Yeah, I've been hearing very mixed opinions about this game. Some people love it, some people hate it.
Well, let me go ahead and put that to rest. I've been playing this for about 6-7 hours now. I mean, I feel like I'm a good portion in, and this game is not fun.
I see.
This game is, a lot of really, really good potential things that just are not working out.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Now, does this take place... I know it takes place in the same universe as Mad Max. I mean, are you playing as Max, or...
We are a alternate timeline Max. We're not the one from the recent movie, but we are Max.
Okay.
And here we are in a house.
So what's the premise of this? I mean, you're Max.
The game started out, and you're Max, and you're driving, and then someone steals your car, and you're like, "That's my car," and then they drive away with your car.
So you're basically like Dudley from Street Fighter. You're just fighting to get your car back.
I'm fighting to get my car back, and you meet, this hunchback guy. We got Sloth from, the Goonies.
I think the profane camps of the Scrotus hordes should be destroyed.
And he loves to chit chat, and it drops us into this really impressively large open world. And I mean, the world itself looks great, but I mean, there are parts that just don't run very well. And I mean, I guess we'll just go ahead and dig into it. So, like right here, we got some bad guys that I just obliterated.
That was the most casual, just excuse me.
So the whole game is built around a really physics-heavy combat system. It's about how fast you're going, how much weight you're hitting with, but none of it really controls that well. Like, I'm side slammed, in the bottom right you see my health bar, and you are constantly healing. You're constantly repairing yourself. Just nothing really moves quick, and for something that's supposed to pride itself on being fast and being powerful and frenetic, it's not.
I see. Now, when it comes to attacking, other cars, I mean, how is that controlled? Does the Hunchback attack for you, or is it just
No, the
running?
Hunchback's main job is to, get out of my car after it gets, utterly obliterated.
Like this?
And then he repairs it. His main job is to be, he's on top of the fire, he's holding it down.
Stopping that car from exploding with his hands.
He's just, man-moding it. So what I've got, when Max isn't, in the car, he's got a gun, of course, so I'm just, going to walk up and blow that tire out. And by tire, I mean that human being.
Is ammo like it is in the movies, where it's like an extremely scarce resource? And...
Everything in this game is scarce. You never have what you need. Oh. That's not the dodge button. There's another car. There's a third car.
Man, Max is resilient.
No, actually, when you're in the really like drunk Batman Arkham Asylum combat in this game, you get hit twice. Like right there, fine, totally fine.
But if you get hit twice, like what, by someone else's fist?
By like a fist, you explode and you're immediately dead.
Wow.
So this is actually a new area that I'm in. So these guys are a little bit tougher. So this gives us a chance to not only look at the just incredible scale of this map.
Yeah, that's fairly large.
But I mean, I've been throughout pretty much all of this red.
How far are you, would you say, in this game? Or percentage? Or
I'd say I'm a good 20%. Right about 20-ish.
I was to say, because you've explored a lot of this map for only 20%, but...
Well, I mean, I'm doing a lot of exploring. I mean, these are the guys that made Just Cause 2. And I love that game. I bought that game because that was one of the coolest open worlds to just goof around in. And I figured that this would be, goofing in the desert in your super cool car. But instead, it's constant maintenance. It's constant, just inventory management. It's just not great.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, everything you do is kind of a drag.
I see. For being, I mean, deserts are always one of the
Taking it like a champ there.
hardest environments to make interesting. There's very few places that can. So, in terms of keeping the desert interesting, because that's all Mad Max is just one giant barren desert.
This desert is cool. There is tons of stuff in this desert. There's varied things. I mean, when you're driving, it feels like a varied and harsh environment. But it's just, as you control your way through it, I'm getting railed here.
I was to say, yeah, this is like the third or fourth time you've been removed from your
You want to know what? I'm going to die real quick, and
I don't know, dude.
Hopefully we can get a fresh start.
Go down with a fight. Not by punching cars.
I'm going to punch the car in the face. Alright, hang on.
Is this bullet time?
This is bullet time. This game has, weird assortments.
Is there no meter for this? Or?
No, it just goes. So, blew his tire off. That's neat. There it is. And
wow.
Yeah, you just get obliterated. And then we get, wonderful advertisements while we're loading.
Of course. Feeling a bit thirsty now for some Rockstar energy drinks.
Well, you can do their challenges.
I see.
I don't know, man. Just with the time that I've put into this game so far, I feel virtually no reward. There's supposed to be a huge catalog to customize your car, and I have nothing right now. And,
Is it nothing because, you have to do story for it, or...
Everything is locked behind the story. So, I mean, here's all the tons of options that we have for it. Tons. And it's just everything is locked. And you're constantly running low. Again, it's about resources. So the little gear, the 292 down there, that's my scrap. And I've gotten a bunch of scrap so far, but I mean, I have very little to show for it. I don't feel as if I'm progressing.
Oh, okay.
I guess I feel like I keep getting sent out on chores that have really long cutscenes that really take me out of the gameplay. And when you're driving in, when you're not, getting totally railed like we just did there, it's pretty fun. It can be fun, but there's just so much in the way of that fun that really lessens the experience. Let's go find a place real quick that I can do some fist fighting, because the fist fighting is not that great.
No?
Destroy the oil pump. Let's go do that. That should give me something to do. So there's a full day-night cycle, and I mean, it's a relatively pretty game, but there are occasional frame drops and just pop in. It's incredibly inconsistent, is the best way that I can explain it.
Oh, okay.
Steering's a little wonky too. I know, games like this should have weight. You should feel heavy if you're doing car combat, but there's a difference between having weight and just feeling immobile, almost. And that's really what this kind of feels like.
Is there a lot of backtracking, or do you do quests for other people? Or?
There is all the questing that you're given is you're railroaded from quest to quest. Every time I finish a quest, they're like, okay, here's your next quest. It's almost got the thing where, I guess per se, in Grand Theft Auto, you finish a mission, you can go about and do your thing, and then, you go to your next mission. This is immediately just hey, dude, go do your mission. I've disabled my mission right now, but as soon as I finished my last thing and I got my last objective, it was already pointing me towards the next game. It's rushing you to finish it. So when you're driving around the wasteland, there's threats, and that's what all these colors mean. So, down here, I'm in orange. I've lowered the threat for this area, but all of these are higher threat levels.
So people can randomly just show up and start attacking you?
Well, yeah, and the more you get down, the more rewards you get, and a couple things like that. But out of the areas that I'm able to go to right now, none of them are producing the rewards that I need. I would like to have, a better engine so I can go faster, a tire so I can actually perform, but I'm just not there yet. And I feel like I've put a decent amount of time into the game, and there's just no fruitful reward yet. So what you can also do is, you know, you can hop out the back, pull out your sweet sniper rifle, and super wreck dudes. So we're actually hitting sunrise, and this game looks absolutely phenomenal when it's daytime. See, we got like windmills over there. Like it's scenic. There's just very little anything to entice.
Regarding hand-to-hand combat, do they have things like, I know in Batman you can like upgrade gadgets and skills and things. Is there anything like that?
There are a couple things like that. Like you can upgrade his jacket, and
You can upgrade the jacket?
yeah, like you can go from a leather jacket to like right now I'm just wearing like
Oh, armor, basically?
yeah, kinda.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm wearing like a ratty t-shirt right now, but I could, you know, level up to, you know, the big jacket or something like that, and it gives, you know, certain buffs, or you can put blades on your hands. I'm going the wrong way. It can be a little disorienting. The map itself, like right now, there are things called convoys, and convoys are marked by, you know, these little green dotted lines when you beat them, but your, you know, current route also is green. So
I mean, for being a game that's based around vehicular combat, what do you say is, are there a lot of cars? I mean, like, what are your options with cars?
So at the beginning of the game, you're handed 6 cars, and I've got 2 so far. One that is the one that I'm driving right now. This is called Shovelface, and the other one's called the Ripper. The Ripper was one of the ones that came with the base game, but you can steal cars. So if you beat up a group but you don't destroy their car, you can hop in their car and take it to your stronghold, and that can become one of your cars that you can drive.
Oh, okay. So there's a wide variety of different, I guess, playable cars.
Yeah, but I mean, they all kind of suffer the same thing where they're all just real
Basic.
heavy.
Oh, okay.
Let's actually do this real quick. This is called a death run.
What is this?
These are like races.
Oh, okay.
And these are marginally fun. Let's see if I can actually... Oh. Let's see if I can get this going.
Lo, here comes a wanderer. I, Crowdazzle, welcome you to the
Crowdazzle.
circle of light, to the circle of the brave, the skilled.
Do you have to watch this cutscene every time you want to race?
Very far,
Typically.
and with a
What?
So,
but
you can skip, which, you know, honestly, pretty much everything I've been put into is just like, oh man, people are talking, but none of it matters. It's literally
Them
Max
showing-
being like, I need to get my car, and they're like, oh, well, I can do this to help you get your car, and he's like, oh. And it's, you know, and then Chum, Bucket, or Sloth, the guy comes in, and he's just like, yeah, we should do that, and then you do it.
Oh, okay. So they basically kind of... They show off how Mad Max they are with dialogue that doesn't really do anything besides show off how kind of zany...
Yeah.
Okay.
Just it feels hollow. The game itself feels hollow.
I see.
So here, we're about to get this race going. And we just run straight into the back of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And again.
That guy doesn't seem to want to win this race.
This is probably one of the better little diversions that you can do out in the wasteland.
I'm liking how, again, scenic this looks. There's a lot of what I guess potentially could be memorable areas. You have these oil rig things, you have bridges.
They're definite landmarks, and they really add to what the game, you know, the game's setting looks like.
Yeah.
Like, you're never really bored of what you're looking at, you're just bored, you know, driving. And don't get me wrong, I love games like Twisted Metal. Like, when this got announced, they said it was, like, heavy car combat. I was super... Oh,
What?
I just got my tire shot out.
So you're not going to win this race is what you're saying?
I'm going to go ahead and assume I'm not going to win this race.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to win this race either. Personal opinions.
Got him.
Wait a second. So you have to hit those barrels for it to count as the next hit. So if the person in front of you hits them and then there's just nothing for you to hit, that's... Wow. That's...
I am struggling without this tire right now.
Does the car feel heavier now? Does it feel more weighted?
It feels even heavier.
Does it feel as weighty as... I don't think this guy is part of the race.
Well, he's not. I mean, the wasteland keeps going as you're doing events, which is a novel concept. But I mean, like right now, I mean, a sniper that I haven't spotted yet shoots at my tire and completely, penalizes me for this race.
Yeah, that does seem a little wonky.
Ugh.
To have the rest of the game basically punish you. What? So if you lose it, your car just explodes?
I suppose so. Alright, we're gonna...
Wait, what happened to your...
You can shoot a flare if you ever get separated, and... Sloth just drives right up.
I thought he was with you in the car.
No, he's in this car. He stays with the Magnum Opus, your sick ride the whole game.
Oh, okay.
So let's... I
thought he just blew up and that was it. Just goodbye, Sloth.
No. So we can show off a little bit of customization. So... Switch to this, and we get the really weird pop in there. We can change colors, which you do by beating different strongholds. And then it should be good for now. And let's go ahead and I guess I don't even have the money for that. Never mind. So it changes on the fly. You don't even have to go anywhere to do upgrades, which is pretty cool if we had any.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm torn about this game. I was very excited for this to come out this week, and it's
not hitting those marks.
It just feels flaccid. All right, let's get this guy. Show off some actual car combat. So what you can do is while driving, you can just pull out the driver, and that's it. He's super dead. So that's one of the ways that you can just completely immobilize someone during this vehicle combat. You've got the options of ripping off tires or hitting them in the front or the side. There's side swipes like that.
That's pretty nifty. I like that.
It feels like Twisted Metal almost got a little more realistic edge to it. There's the sniper that shot my tire out. Thank you. So what I find is really weird is despite, the desert obviously being completely comprised of sand, if you are not on this black sand that acts as the road, you go super, super slow. Okay, so cool. We're actually at a place where we can do things right now.
Oh wow, I was not expecting you to be able to just...
No, you could totally do stuff like that. And at moments like that, the game really clicks. It's like, we're going to go ahead and I guess we'll go into the stronghold. Everything is pretty much destructible when you're in the car. Like, everything's got really cool physics, and that's super neat. But then, here in a couple seconds, once we clear off all these diversions, when we get on foot, the game just comes to a stuttering halt, and it's just... It is what probably turns me off the most about the game. Is the on-foot sections, which feel like they wanted to be cool and they wanted to contribute, but they don't. So let's heal up before we go further into this one of these strongholds.
How often do you find yourself repairing cars?
Near constantly. You are always having to stop and heal up, or there's no health regen in this game, which is fine. But there are virtually no healing items, like almost anywhere.
Okay, so it's basically just not a good balance of like being on low health or resources, and then being able to, keep pressing forward.
Yeah. Alright, so let's...
I think that's a weak gate.
Do I have any gas here with me? Okay, I do. Let's check this out. So, you've also got resources. So, we get a good fade to black to load up.
I'd say, yeah, there's a lot of actions from what I've seen in this game where it's just fade to black and then just loads your character model holding.
Yeah. Alright, so we just left a burning gas tank and we can run in. So, just totally get in this fire. And time for the worst Batman combat in the world. There's so little time to actually do the actions that it wants you to do that you almost feel gimped every time you get hit like that. And they're constantly really overwhelming you.
Wow.
Yeah, you die super quick. And it's really frustrating.
Now, when you die and you have to start again, where do you start from? Will you start at that gate, or
it will typically drop you back to your stronghold. Now, hopefully this loads me right in front of this one that we're trying to infiltrate right now. But, I mean, it's 50-50, in all honesty.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Cool, so it is going to drop us here, and we can just go straight in combat. So I feel like they really wanted this to be cool, but, I mean, it's a lot more matchy than Batman is. And that says a lot.
Now, say if this is picking up your controller, I can definitely sense that.
So, there's parrying. There's that gauge up in the top right. That's your Fury mode, which basically turns you into WrestleMania. If I can get to that real quick. Yes. So now you go, Super Saiyan. And you just literally just beat people hard. And, there's hand-to-hand combat. You can loot people for items, but...
In terms of, I guess, enemy variation, are you always just fighting
You are fighting goons all the time.
So, are there, like, boss battles, or...?
They are, and it's just fighting a goon with 10 times as much health.
Oh...
And here's really where the game falls apart for me, is just this really boring kind of exploration. So you go around, you collect scrap, that's the game's currency. Or, right here we've got an insignia. And if you beat all of those, you get 100% in this stronghold. But it all just feels like very video game. And it doesn't feel like it's trying to be the cool world that it wants to be. It's just like, oh man, we need to have something for these things that we're creating. So they just dropped in things. Oh, destroy 3 things and all that. There's always a checklist.
Yeah, so it always feels like you're just, instead of being allowed to do things kind of at your own pace, it's hey, do this. Hey,
you're going through the motions. You're just 100% going through the motions. So we can run over here into another battle pit. It's really obvious when you're in one of these places where you're about to fight because it just all
it's a wide open area.
Yeah, it just everything opens up. See, I'm going for these counters and they're not letting me counter. Got it.
I think that was a more viable option than what you've been doing.
God, just,
Time to sit through these hot advertisements.
I'm just so disappointed. And...
What were your expectations?
I expected a really good car combat game with a decent amount of customization, because that's everything that was shown. Everywhere where people were showing off this game, they were like, look at all the stuff you can do with your car, look at how diverse, everything is. They were really kind of shying away from the combat, or, basically the beginning of this game, and having played through the entire intro, it's just painfully boring.
Nope, so you have to break this thing again, and...
Yep. Really, really weird checkpoint system. So let's see if I can beat this, and then we'll finish this up.
So this is starting almost exactly the same as it did last time.
Yep. And encounters hardly deviate from their original setup. See, what Batman did was, while you're mid-combat, it basically is like, oh, someone's coming, get ready to counter. This one is just, you're constantly bombarded by not having the ability to beat down on guys. You're constantly being interrupted, and it's really wanting you to get into these patterns of just beating them up, and then going, and then countering, and that's how Batman was formatted, but this, it's a lot more tedious. And, there we go.
Good cinematic finish.
Yep, that's pretty much how all the fights end. And, then you get to, keep progressing through pretty boring looking metal structures.
As I say, shotgun or ammo in general seems extremely hard to come by, just because you only shot one dude, so it seems like one of those things that you're really trying to reserve your bullets.
They do not want you to shoot. They treat it as a complete last resort. All of these little dungeon layouts too are really difficult to navigate. So we've already gone this way. They're just, everything looks very similar, and
what just happened there? Did you just die from
from fall damage?
From a 5-foot fall?
From a 5-foot fall.
You can't tactical roll hitting the ground?
No, typically you can.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's
Well, you know what? You could get some delicious Rockstar energy drink while you wait for this game to load.
Oh, well, you wanna know what? It's okay. It loaded me here at the bottom, and we're gonna safely dismount. There it is.
What, scrap?
No, my super safe dismount.
Oh.
Uh-oh. I hope this is not a room to fight in. I went for that prompt to hit X, and I don't know why it didn't let me do it. Oh. Also the best part.
Those perfectly timed audio cues.
Oh, yeah.
For all your lighting needs.
Okay, so we got another water. Water is your primary, way of healing.
It's incredibly strange, all the tiny actions you have to take with things, hold X to, hit this thing 3 times, hold X to, turn this lever or open this door. It seems like there's a lot of these little actions that normally you just either press X or maybe even just walk to and it'd be that, but do you feel that makes the game a little bit more tedious, or?
I think that's exactly what it is. Also, I have no ammo to get that final thing to complete this. Really hope there's someone here.
You can just
nope.
Jump punch it,
nope.
Or
your jump this.
Why even jump?
That's your big jump. Also, can I
Oh, no.
Oh, no way.
Can you, like, dive through that?
There
Okay,
it is.
there we go. That was
almost the best.
some wonky physics there. I think you missed something back there.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. And then there are history relics, and these are like photos of the old world that kind of depict almost Dark Souls style of like what previously happened. Oof. Vance is mad.
Yeah.
All that water seems wasteful now.
Max's first words.
I'd say, yeah, he's a fairly quiet person, but then
He-
again, we haven't really been into a cutscene, so I don't know.
He has Chumbucket talk for him almost the entire time. Oh, more guys. Never mind.
I mean, one thing I noticed, albeit a small thing, but they were like, hey, it's that guy. Is this one of those kind of almost Fallout things where, you know, the more you interact with the world, the more other people recognize you, and they're like...
Yes, there's an entire notoriety system going on that grants you weapon upgrades and armor upgrades.
And we are just not finding any ammo.
I think I've found a total of maybe 30 bullets over my entire playthrough so far.
Wow.
Have I been here?
I don't think you had been.
Okay.
But now I'm starting to see exactly what you mean about these.
Everything
places looking similar.
everything looks the same. Guess we're gonna go ahead and blow up a door real quick. Oh, okay.
These small fades. to
Look at all
black.
these fade to blacks.
Yay, you did it. You.
I beat one of the strongholds.
Well, at least you don't have to go get that mark and shoot it off now. I hope.
Also, after I beat this, I now have to exit via... maybe it'll give me a zip line. That would be really considerate of them. But typically it has you go back through the entire labyrinth that you just, had to traverse through.
Does it look different as you go back through it? Like,
No.
everything's blown up?
No,
Or
everything is,
the same?
Yep. You
Man.
basically blow up the one thing that tells you to blow up, and then it congratulates you.
And I'm just assuming your rewards are nothing but scrap and...
Actually, you don't get scrap. You lower your threat, which, leads to other things. So,
But you need to... Wait, so you need to fight other people to gain scrap and cars and things like that.
yep.
But by doing the things that it tells you to do, you lower your threat, leading you to fighting less people to earn scrap and cars.
Yep.
Huh.
Also, look at this.
That looks good.
That's gorgeous.
But yeah, this seems like a visually impressive game held together by some really counterintuitive design plans.
It's just
Here they come. The roadkill scum.
disappointing and very, very sad. But, that is everything for Mad Max. It's just, it's not fun.
I see.
No, I think we're just going to go ahead and drive off into the sunrise.
Albeit a bit not balanced.